Hey, good morning to all you wonderful YouTubers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, 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 and all that other good stuff. Hey guys, as you know, my channel is all about practicing and learning the skills of bushcrafting, prepping and survival in the wilderness. And I always have a specific task, but I like getting out in the bush as much as I can. But when you can't get out in the bush, you bring the bush to you. So what I've decided to do is just set up a shelter in my backyard and just have some good tea, have some lunch, practice some knife skills, and just talk to you guys. But we are expecting some rain and some snow and all of that good stuff, but I wanted to get out here and just continue to perfect my skills. Hey guys, but one thing I want to emphasize, someone did ask me, they said, why do you have kindling, which is thumb size or pinky finger size smaller? Why do you have that small kindling when you're using feather sticks? Well, I'll tell you why. As we know, to build a campfire, you're going to need something combustible, which is a ferrocerium rod, flint and steel, bow drill, hand drill, plow drill, something that's going to create a spark onto tinder. And that tinder is best if it is fluffy. So now, in the area that I live in, Northern Virginia, there's always a lot of dampness. Or the wood is wet. So if you are able to get some small kindling, that is fantastic. But if you're not able to get some dry tinder, that is when you resort to splitting wood, getting to the middle of the wood to make feather sticks. Feather sticks are just basically shavings on a stick, and if they fall off, they're curls. But the good thing about it, the feather sticks or the curls is great kindling when the other natural resources such as just tinder from kindling from the lower portion of a tree. When that's damp, you resort to, I guess, making your own tinder, which is feather sticks and curls. So guys, I'm going to make a fire, a small fire. I'm going to be using a small fire pit. Which is basically a small fire pit. You can put a top on it, and you can put your skillet on top of it, or I can just put this on the top, put a cup or whatever. But guys, so again, I just wanted to bring that point home that yes, a lot of times you will see me just use twigs and not feather sticks and curls, or sometimes you may see me use feather sticks and curls instead of the kindling, and that's usually because, again, it's very damp. So with that said, guys, I'm going to let me just show you my place real quick. This is just the wood that I have. I always bring wood back from the bush with me, but this is just a look. Again, when you can't get to the bush, you bring the bush to you. So this is a plow point that's going to give me a lot of room This is made with a Texas Bushcraft tarp, which is a 10 by 10. So guys, on this brisk morning, I am going to go ahead and start me a fire, and I'll bring you along. Again, that's wood that I've harvested from being in the bush. Hey guys, so again, this is all about making the fire stand warm. Even though I am not in the bush, it is chilly. But what I'm going to do, I'm even taking this wood and make it into smaller pieces. So let me show you what I'm doing, because I'm just basically taking the small wood. I'll get some more here. And again, leather gloves. Anytime you're using cutting tool. Batoning. Basically, you're splitting the wood along with the grain. Look how small these are. And this wood is dry, so I really won't need any feather sticks. I won't need any feather sticks, but what I'm going to use is some fat wood dust. This wood is very seasoned. Yeah, one of the main things about bushcrafting, most important besides the shelter, is a fire. Again, being able to make and sustain a fire. So guys, I'm going to really fill this thing up with some kindling. I'm going to bring you back when I'm ready to make that nice warm fire. Hey guys, so I've gotten this pretty filled up with wood. And as you see, I'm going to make this fire to get some tea going in here. Excuse me. But also, you know, at home is always a good time to try new things. So I'm going to try something I purchased at the Georgia Bushcraft from a friend named William. So shout out to William. I am getting ready to try your product, which is basically candle wax, and there's something in it that he mentioned. So this is one of William's product. This is candle wax, and I don't remember what's in it, but and because I'm not going to use matches or lighters, and I'm going to talk about that later, I'm going to use a ferrocerium rod. So I'm going to strike this and put it into the fire. So I'm just going to put this in here now. And let me bring you guys along so that you can see this. Okay. Okay. This is very okay. There we go. So I hope you guys can see that, and I am going to toss the top of this burner on. let you guys just take a look at that. So I'm going to see how long this burns. William said it burns for about 10 to 15 minutes. So I will be glad when it does. So in the meantime, I'm going to put this on the ground because this is very safe on the ground, and I'll bring you back. Well, you can see the results of whatever product that is that I purchased from William. Hey, again, William, shout outs to you. Thanks a lot, man. Much appreciated. Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and throw the top on here. All right, I'll be back with you as soon as I put the water on for the tea. Notice the black smoke, that is all fat wood. And the heat really feels good. Well guys, the tea is on, and fire's gone down just a tad bit, but I think it was really roaring from the item that I put in there. But this is very, very easy, because all I have to do is just toss wood in here. The tea is not boiling yet. Yeah, temperature is dropping. So, hey, but I have a nice warm fire here. Yeah, it's unfortunate that I couldn't make it to the bush, but hey guys, another thing about shelter, you know, bushcrafting is basically, it's not where you're going to be doing a lot of survival. Hey guys, as you can see, with small amount of wood, fire goes out quickly, but it's very easy to restoke, and that will be started really, really soon. Of course, with the bellow, and we are good to go. All right, guys, I am back. Wow, look how quickly that fire stoked up. Yeah, we are now getting some rain. I don't know if you can hear it, but that's all well, fine and good. And what a difference hot tea makes. Good thing about actually being able to practice in your backyard is that you have to process small amounts of wood. And of course, you always keep a canteen full of water near you. Oh man, refreshing. But you know, I wanted to talk about shelter for bushcrafting. You know, definitely it's not a tent, because a tent only has one footprint, whereas a tarp, it can accommodate various landscapes. You know, there are many configurations. The tarp is a lot more portable, it's lighter. So all you have to do is have a paracord, and you can attach it to the trees or the ground. You can do some whittling, making your own tent stakes. or tent pegs. You can make, you know, just by whittling, you can make your own tent stakes. So if you have paracord, or if you make your paracord from nature, attach it to the tree or the ground, and you can have a sufficient tarp. You can have sufficient cover. And if you want it to be even more primitive, you can make a debris shelter, which is basically out of branches, foliage, or saplings, leaves. You know, and I think the most common one is the A-frame. Just by getting some branches, if you get the A-frame, you can slant it. You can make it slanted. You can make a tripod and get one piece of, get a branch or a log and slant it, and put some branches diagonal against it. And those branches will be known as the ribs. The branch itself will be known as the spine. And you're going to get quite a few of those. It depends on how large you want your shelter. Then you're going to get the foliage or the leaves, saplings or the boughs, and you're going to put them on in a downward motion. So if it rains, the rain would then go downward instead of, you don't want to make them very perpendicular, but you want to make them somewhat slanted. The rain can roll off, and once you put the saplings on, then you just throw leaves on it all over, and it will keep you warm. But yeah, the two shelters for a bushcrafter, for me, is going to be a tarp and or a debris shelter. You can make it in a lean-to, but the most common one is the A-frame. Wow, yeah, I'm hearing the rain. Yeah, time for me to stoke that fire up again. I'm glad I have a lot of wood in my garage. You know, I don't have to go and harvest it. Wow, but this is making me hungry already. But yeah, guys, I just want to talk to you real quickly about that. There are a number of things I'm going to talk about today, since I have a lot of time. But I'm going to stoke this fire up again. Hey, I'll bring you back. Yeah, you can see with that small wood, fire doesn't last very long, so I will be busy today. That is for sure. Hey guys, while I'm heating up some more water for tea, I must say that actually using this small fire pit or cooker or whatever it is, it definitely requires a lot more attention as to feeding the fire. Of course, you can't put that much in, but that brings me to another topic of water. When you're out in the bush, water is so important. You know, if you bring the water with you, that's great. But if you're out there for an extensive time or period, more than likely you may have to go and source your water. Now, one way that you can source water is from rain, by just getting your tent, your tarp, or have an extra tarp, hang it up between two trees, and as it rains, the water will puddle into the top of that tarp, and there you have water. Of course, you're still going to have to purify, you're still going to have to filter and purify that water. Or another source is basically try to find running water. I mean, you can find water in a pond, lake, or whatever, but preferably running water. You may be able to even build a dam and channel that water in a different direction. But yeah, you have to source the water. But now what happens when you source the water? You still have to filter it. And again, one of the good ways of filtering water is by, if this was your canteen or your grill or whatever, putting a bandana over it, getting water to help stop some of the debris from getting into the getting into your water. That's one way of filtering the water. You can also use man-made things such as, again, the Grail, the Mini Sawyer. And I've also heard that you can use sand, rocks, grass, and gravel to filter the water. However, you're still going to need to boil that water. But once you source the water, filter the water, then you have to purify it. Now, I prefer boiling the water, but I understand that you can use aqua tablets. You can use the sun. But I think the safest way is boiling the water at least 3 minutes, a rolling boil of at least 3 minutes, but I always go for at least 10 minutes. So that's another skill with bushcrafting, is sourcing water, you know. So, I mean, again, you know, your shelter, the tarp or the debris shelter, sourcing your water, of course, the fire, first aid, you know. Of course, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice, but always have a first aid kit with you. And in fact, you know, what I carry with me is 2 first aid kits. I carry 1 kit for anything that I have to ingest, as far as aspirins, ibuprofen, or anything like that. And then I carry 1 for, you know, if I have a burn or cut or something of that nature. Of course, with a tourniquet. You may not be a doctor or anything, but at least with a first aid kit, you can somewhat minimize the injury. You know, the extent of the injury, you can somewhat minimize that. So you definitely have to have a first aid kit. You know, another thing is a bow and arrow or a slingshot. If you're out there for some time, you know, you may have to harvest your food. You know, the squirrels, rabbits, you know, so even with a bow and arrow, if you use a bow and arrow, the animals are not going to hear a loud boom from any other tool. So a bow and arrow, which I am totally unfamiliar with, a slingshot, I'm going to be taking a class in that. So yeah, bow and arrow, those are tools you can use. Of course, there's always berries. You know, if the berry is black, purple, red, if they're clustered together, you know, that's a pretty sure sign that they're edible. So, you know, there are berries that you can always harvest. There's acorns. But again, study that. Make sure you know exactly what you are ingesting. So, but nature provides that, you know, again, fishing. You can just get a branch, take a part of your paracord, some of the strands of your paracord, a hook, and you can fish that way. Go to a place where you believe there are some fish, or you can carry a small rod and reel with you. But these are just some of the skills that are really necessary for bushcrafting. Trapping, you know, I don't know much about trapping, but I understand that's part of carving or whittling, you know, making the traps. Signaling, being able to signal, you know, with the mirror that's on your compass, or carrying an orange bandana or anything yellow, pink, something that's bright. If you have to signal someone, rescue or anything like that. So bushcrafting, there's a lot of skills, and I'm going to put some more wood in this fire. Yeah, I'm making some more tea. So yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm doing today, man. Just want to could not make it into the bush, so I tried to bring the bush to me. So I'm going to be out here for a while because I just want to endure the cold. I'm not sure how long. I'm going to be here for a while, but I don't know how long that while is going to be. I may have to leave or whatever, but yeah, guys, so take a look at this, how quickly, just by adding that wood. So I'm going to prepare some more tea, guys, and I'll be back with you. Well, guys, I am back, and the only thing that's really keeping me warm is tea and this fire. Okay, that's going to be stoked up pretty quickly. You can see it already. Hey guys, but another thing, another required skill for bushcrafting is, of course, land navigation. And that's something I've been studying a lot lately. You know, knowing how to use your compass, knowing what the declination of the area you're going to, how to set the declination on your compass. There's a website that you can find by just putting in the address of where you're going, and it will give you the declination. And basically what you're looking at with declination is the difference between magnetic north and true north. Usually when you get your compass and you put the red in the shed, you're looking at magnetic north. That's not true north. So wherever you go, you want to put in true north, which means setting your declination. So, and reading the topo map, that's very, very helpful. The only thing is the expense of purchasing the topo map of where you're going to be. But that topo map will give you what's called contour lines, and it's very easy to determine the steepness of the terrain that you're going to be on. For example, I mean, you can look at a contour line that has 100, and the next contour line has 200. So you know that every 20 yards, every 20 you have some more lines, and every 20 lines you've traveled 20 yards or 20 meters. So learning how to read the topo map is very helpful. I mean, reading the topo map, you're going to be able to determine where the ridges are, where the streams are, if the streams are going downward, up. You know, they have something called the V shape, which is usually showing that the terrain is going upward, so you know that any river or stream is running downward. But yeah, land navigation is very, very important. And the way you really learn it, I think, just getting out there in the bush and just practicing with it. I mean, I'm taking it step by step by step. You know, the next major thing to do is do my pace count. But I've been studying my S-U-N-T-O, Sun2 MC2. Really nice compass, you know. It will even tell you elevations, you know. So that, another thing is knot tying. You know, there's so many knots, you know, but you'll start to use the same knots. At least for me, I'll use the same knots over and over. Trucker's hitch, taut line hitch, bow line, you know, those are my three favorite. Timber hitch. But yeah, knot tying is a bushcrafting skill that's very important, as well as the land navigation, the water sourcing, knowing how to use a bow and arrow and slingshot, the tarp and the debris shelter, many skills, bushcrafting skills. Because when you're in the bush, you don't have any control of the bush. You know, you have no control over the weather. You have no control if it's going to rain or not. You have no control over the sun. So, you know, you want to become self-reliant when you're out there. You want to be able to survive off of nature, Mother Nature, you know. So especially when you're by yourself, you're on your own. But, you know, that's the fun part. For me, is seeing if you can really be self-reliant out in the bush. You know, first aid, not wanting to rush anything, knowing how to score trees, knowing how to walk away from your camp, not so far as that you can't see your signal, your orange bandana or your pink, yellow bandana. So when you're in the bush, you want to become self-reliant, and that's what it's all about, reconnecting with nature. Because we are connected with nature, so I don't know if I can say reconnect. We are connected with nature, you know, so. And of course, it's time to put more wood in this fire. Whereas in the bush, it's not that frequent. But the tea is nice and hot. Yes. It's going to be a time for a meal pretty soon. But yeah, guys, I'm going to stoke this fire up again. I'll be right back. As you can see, not so much action right now. All right, guys, time for some food, which means I'm gonna have to keep this fire stoked. Whoa, that's an accident. Guys, another required skill in the bush, cooking over fire. You know, one of the things that's helpful is having foil paper. I usually take foil paper with me to the bush, but just knowing how to cook over fire, you know, again, if you eat meat, being able to take a green stick, sticking it through the fish or the hot dog or whatever. I've even seen some people cook actually on rocks. But one of the ways that I do it, I just wait for some coals and I'll have whatever meal I have wrapped up in some foil paper, just lay it on the coals. So that's another required skill for bushcrafting is cooking on a campfire. You know, it's not like you're going to be on your range that's electric or gas, that you can adjust the heat, so you have to take, you know, that into account as well. I mean, just being in the bush is just it's definitely different because, again, you know, you're not just gonna go and flip the heat in your house on, or the coolness, anything like that. Hold on. Just have to adjust the meal. I mean, this is an experience here. But guys, I'm going to change the battery out on this camera. I'll be right back. Yeah, when you're cooking in the bush, you really don't have a measuring cup or anything like that, which I think I put too much water in here, but hey, water is always good for you. And as the fire dies out, then you have to add more wood. So again, guys, campfire, cooking over a campfire. For me, it's relatively easy. Nothing extensive. Yeah, guys, but it just wanted to show you that again. You know, not able to get into bush today, so I brought the bush to me. And it's always fun, you know, just being connected with nature. It's always fun. I'll be glad when this food is ready. You know, keeping warm food in you, keeping your core temperature up. I'm sure it would have been even colder actually in the bush, but this is as close as I'll get to the bush today. Looking forward to getting out there next week to still trying to harvest my first deer, but there's also bear season going on at the same time, so I'll be going for either or. Yeah, guys, so again, I'm gonna tend to this food and I'll bring you back when it's time to eat. Hey guys, it is time to eat. There's nothing better than being in the frigid cold and having a good warm meal. So let me put you in focus here and I'm gonna start eating. All right, guys. Whew. You can see there's steam coming off the man. And as always, good. Oh, it feels so good. Something so warm, so hot. Have tea that is still hot as well. And I'm constantly adding wood to the fire. Yeah, guys, this is right on time. Another skill I've learned about is Flintknapping. Actually making arrowheads out of rocks, or making it out of flint by using other rocks or strong objects to that's something I doubt if I ever indulge on, Flintknapping, but you never know. I think it's cool. I actually got a chance to see someone actually. Well, guys, I have finished my meal and I'm just heating up some tea the very quick way. But again, just out here in my backyard practicing some bushcrafting skills. Again, there are so many skills that, I mean, it's almost impossible to cover all of them. But, you know, again, I think the main ones that we can always look at is shelter, fire, water, food, signaling, first aid, and navigation. So guys, yeah, excuse me, but I'm just turning the camera around. Just waiting on the tea to heat up, and that's about it, you know. But you know, the tarp that I put up, this is a plow point, and the mylar does reflect heat, and so this is one of the quickest ways to I think it's one of my favorites. Basically, the plow point is my favorite. So, but Yeah, so I found out with this little fire pit that I have, you know, it's only going to take so much wood, but that's all well and fine. But it does the job, you know, keeps you warm, cooks your meal and everything. So I think it's I think the tea is warm enough. I'm not sure. I think it is. Yeah, there's steam, so it's definitely warm enough. Oh boy. The only thing I would say in your backyard, you don't move around as much, so you really don't generate heat. Whereas before in the bush I would be sawing, splitting wood. But again, you know, this is just practice. Everything about my channel is learning and practicing the skills of bushcrafting, prepping, and survival in the wilderness. But yeah, guys, when you can't get out to the bush, bring the bush to you. Yeah, I've burned a lot of wood. I can't believe how quickly this wood burns, but you know, every time I go to the bush, I'll bring a couple of pieces of wood with me. It adds up, you know. It adds up, but it burns much faster. Yeah, so I have a larger fire pit that I could have used, but I just didn't want to. Didn't want to make a large fire. You know, here I'm in my backyard, just enjoying myself. Again, I had my meal. I had to discontinue the filming. I had a phone call, so I took the phone call and finished the meal on the phone and finishing the tea now. I don't think I'll make any more, even though I do have plenty of water out here with me. So I'm going to enjoy this fire and be back with you. Hey guys, well, one thing I did not have to do today is baton a lot of wood, you know. And but again, batoning is just splitting wood. It just basically splitting with the grain of the wood. I did that earlier, but the knife that I'm using is a saw fill knife. And I like this because for one reason it has a pommel on the edge. If you wanted to hit this against acorns against it, it has jimping here. You can see the jimping. You can get a good firm grip right here. It's a hollow grind, so it's really good for slicing. Somewhat of a drop point as well. But yeah, this is a saw, a very good knife, and a great feature about this knife is that the sheath that it comes with, it has a location that if I wanted to right in here, the blade, you still can see the blade. You can cut paracord right there. So and it has places that, you know, I could add paracord and to strap this onto a spear, make it out of a spear. A lot of things you can do with a knife. But back to batoning, you only want to, this is only going to baton wood. This is a 4-inch blade, so nothing probably more than 3. It's going to be sufficient. It has a choil here that if I wanted to strike a ferrocerium rod, or the spine is 90 degrees, so I could use that, use some ferro rod on that. But yeah, so batoning is probably something that we do a lot, so much that we just take it for granted. I did a lot of batoning at the beginning of this video, but you know, I just wanted to let you know that batoning is basically splitting wood, and the diameter of the wood definitely should not exceed your blade length. So this is a 4-inch. I wouldn't try to baton anything over 3 inches. I mean, something like this, I could, but that would be stretching it, you know. Sure, I wouldn't have a problem, but batoning is just splitting wood, going along with the grain of the wood. Just another bushcraft skill. So guys, I know I've talked about a lot of bushcraft skills. Again, to perfect your skills, learn them, practice them, and most of all, go connect with nature. Go in the bush, practice your skills. Again, I wish I could have been in the bush today, but hey, this is just as well. I can't get out there every weekend, but so I decided to spend some time in my backyard, put up again a plow point tent. Did make a meal, made some tea, have a fire going, and it's just enjoyable connecting with nature. All right, guys, check out this fire again. I don't know how much more wood is going to fit in there. Hey guys, well, I decided to saw some wood. I sawed it with, let me just put this over here, with a Baco Laplander. Has a 7-inch blade, and each inch has 7.5 inches, and each inch has 7 teeth, I believe, something to that effect. But I don't know, I just wanted to, I have many buckets of this wood in my garage, so I just got out some cedar, and I really like the way this cedar smells when you burn it. So I'm going to burn this bucket of wood here, and then I'll just probably call it quits. Like I said, I just like to practice, you know. Again, there's so many skills for bushcrafting. You won't learn them all, but it's just something that's enjoyable. You know, this is about as close to nature as you're going to get in your backyard, you know. But yeah, this cedar wood, I mean, it's really dry. I've been having it a long time. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing, guys. Just out here. Once this bucket of cedar burns, I'll probably call it quits. Like I said, I had a meal. Not much else to do. Definitely no compass practicing in the backyard. But hey, it's just fun, you know. Again, sawing. And again, the reason why I started sawing this wood is, hey, when you're moving, you're generating heat. You know, you're getting that body core temperature up. And one piece led to another piece, just like, I may as well saw all of this, make sure that it fits into this little fire pit that I have here. So, but believe me, I have numerous buckets of this stuff. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna turn around and enjoy the crackling and popping of this little campfire in this fire pit. I'll be back with you probably when I get ready to turn in. Well, guys, that would probably be the extent of my outing in the bush in my backyard for the day. Just added 2 more pieces of cedar wood, and you see how quickly it catches. It catches quickly, but it burns quickly. So guys, I'm going to, excuse me, it's getting dark, so I'm going to probably be ending this video very, very soon, but wanted to show you again. This is just the outer portion of the plow point. Again, when you can't go to the bush, you bring the bush to you. And barely enough space, but nevertheless, it's very, very roomy. As a matter of fact, let's see. This is just the inside of it again. And that's about it. So guys, I'm going to end this video. As always, hey, it's been fun. I thank you guys for coming along and joining me. So with that said, hey guys, I really encourage you, if you're into bushcrafting, camping, survivalist, anything to do with the woods, get out there and just practice. So this is the Virginia Bushcrafter signing off. And as always, like father and son, mother and daughter, human in nature, we're all akin in some form or fashion. Get out in the bush and have some fun. This is the Virginia Bushcrafter.